Tonight, with 5 out of the 7 Athens area schools playing away, Grady Sports is hitting the road. Plus, we find out how hard you have to train in order to go from great to elite. And we take a look at a football player who always has a loved one nearby on the field. All of that tonight and more on Grady Sportsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Sportsource, your home for high school football in the Athens area. I'm your host, Mason Cantrell. You just saw our analyst Hayden Chambliss, who will be joining us in studio once she gets back from her road trip. Extra training has become a common trend among high school athletes trying to make it to the next level. Grady sports reporter Caroline Conley had the chance to sit down with trainer Ken Whitehead to hear and even learn some of the exercises that he teaches to athletes in the Athens area.
High school sports aren't just about the love of the game. For some, it's a stepping stone to college athletics. And in order to compete at that next level, athletes often seek extra training outside of school. Here at Core Blend Training, Ken Whitehead is doing just that, using his coaching and fitness training background to form his own company, Phenom Training.
It's a norm now to see people train extra and get the extra work in. I was trying to open that door to what the kids in Atlanta was doing, and why was the kids in Gwinnett having 20, 30 kids sign D1 or go to college, and we got 6 or 7. So it was trying to like bring this training from what I saw in Gwinnett in Atlanta and put it in the Athens area.
One of those athletes taking advantage of Phenom Training is Seaver King. Seaver has been training with Coach Ken for the past year to improve his speed and fitness, hoping to attract college baseball recruiters.
I came here before sophomore year, and freshman year I wasn't the best. Obviously, there's a lot of baseball players out there, so you got to separate yourself from all the other ones. I needed to get faster, bigger, stronger.
How fast you can get from point A to point B is going to be a big difference. A kid that runs a 4.3 or 4.5 is a lot different than a kid running a 4.8, 4.9. With Seaver, we're trying to get to the mid-6 range for baseball.
There's a lot of psychological edge that comes with knowing that you are putting in that work, you are trying to make yourself better. Getting that sort of development of pushing themselves against college players, seeing what it's going to take to be competitive at the next level is a huge, huge confidence boost.
Coach Ken's mix of bands and explosive movements, a key to improving speed, make his workouts unique for his athletes and me.
The whole purpose of this, to get the hand-arm motion and get the feet placement. I want to keep this same tight rhythm. It's not about speed right now. It's just about good steps, good arm pump, and then good explosion. Pump your arm. So front, side, go back side, go front, back, go, sprint. There you go. Keep it, there we go. See? You're gonna get a workout before you go home.
With intense and specialized workouts, it's no surprise that so many of these facilities are popping up. It appears that former University of Georgia head football coach Mark Rick is opening up 2 facilities of his own.
The reason people are opening more facilities, I think, is because they are seeing that the kids need extra work.
I think it's amazing that these kids do show up and do come in and put in extra work. Coach Ken talks to these kids about getting better, about how to improve, about how to get to the next level. Most of the kids that train here or do extra training, you can see the difference. They're not getting hurt as much. They're quicker, they're faster, and you can see the difference between both kids on the field.
Phenom Training has played a big role in helping high school athletes take their game to the next level. Coach Ken's intense workouts help these players push themselves to be the best that they can be.
If I can help a kid get an opportunity to play at the next level and continue playing, then that's the whole purpose by doing this.
This is Caroline Connolly with Grady Sports.
Thanks to Caroline and Will for bringing us that story. I'm joined now by Hayden Chambliss in our corner studio. Hayden, now that you finally made it back, let's go ahead and dive into all of our big games from this week.
Sounds good.
Our first game involves the big news of the week in Athens area football. Prince Avenue star quarterback Brock Vandergriff fractured a bone in his lower leg during last week's game against Wesleyan. Athletic director Richard Ricketts told Grady Sportsource. Vandergriff had surgery on Monday, and it's unknown how long the Oklahoma commit is going to be out of action. Tonight, Prince Avenue heads to Lilburn to take on Providence Christian Academy. The Wolverines are trying to recover from losing their quarterback and their first game of the season last week, when they blew a 14-0 lead on the way to a 24-14 loss against Wesleyan. How do you see Prince Avenue responding tonight?
You know, I think the biggest factor in going into this game is the absence of Vandergriff. Freshman quarterback Lucian Anderson III will be filling his spot. But one thing the Wolverines still have going for them is their special teams unit. Junior Logan Johnson is a solid return man who is even starting to garner some Division I interest. I think that Prince Avenue does really live and die with Vandegrift. I don't see a way that the Wolverines can regroup and recover to pull out a win against a Providence Christian team that shut out Cross Keys 64-0 in the first week of the season on the road.
Cedar Shoals High School has the week off, but crosstown rival Clark Central is traveling tonight to play undefeated Thompson. The Gladiators will be looking to bounce back after a shutout loss to Flowery Branch from last week. What are your thoughts on the game?
You know, I think they could be headed for another shutout. The Thompson Bulldogs have not given up a single point all year. They're a defensive powerhouse that's equipped with powerful, aggressive linebackers and a huge D-line. In Clark Central's loss to Flowery Branch, quarterback Isaac Ward, he threw for 143 yards, but there was only 64 rushing yards. To make any difference, the Gladiators really need O'Brien Barnett to be awake in the backfield. I'm going to have to count this as another loss for Clark Central.
Meanwhile, in Elberton, the North Oak County Titans will be looking to remain undefeated as they face Elbert County. The Blue Devils won their game against Washington Wilkes on August 30th before taking last week off.
North Oconee is known for scoring early in the game. This season, this team is averaging 21 points in the first half alone. The 1-1 Blue Devils seem to be lacking on the defensive side of the ball. They allowed Hart County to pull off 39 points on the board, and 19 of those came in the first half. Considering the team's records and the fact that the Titans are superior on both sides of the ball, I'm going to have to give this one to North Oconee.
Athens Christian is headed to Cumming to play Pinecrest Academy tonight. The Eagles have struggled a little bit this season, but they looked impressive last week in a 36-15 win over Landmark Christian. Do you see that success carrying over to their matchup tonight against the Paladins? You know, their key player that contributed to the Eagles' win over Landmark was Jonas Davis. The sophomore rushed for 249 yards and recorded 1 touchdown for his team. The Eagles also outscored Landmark 29-8 in the second half. Pinecrest only has 1 game under their belt this season, and it's a 47-14 loss to Fellowship Christian School. I think Athens Christian is going to keep up the momentum and win this one. While most Athens area schools are traveling tonight, the Athens Academy Spartans host the Cherokee Bluff Bears in the lone home game of tonight. Hayden, do you think the Spartans are going to have an easy game tonight against Cherokee Bluff, or that the Bears are going to be able to put up a fight?
You know, the Bears, who went winless last season, are coming off of a high. They won their first game in program history last week to Johnson High. Their running back, Jaquan Smith, rushed for 128 yards, and quarterback Mason Thomas threw for 157. As impressive as those stats are, their program is just too young and to upset the Spartans, who have put up 84 points in the last game. So I'm going to count this as a loss.
It promises to be a challenge for sure. After a break, we'll be back to break down the game of the week. But first, check out this video of Coach Whitehead from Phenom Training putting Sportsource reporter Caroline Conley through a bit of a workout. Now, our game of the week. The Oconee County Warriors are traveling to Madison to play the undefeated Morgan County Bulldogs. The two schools don't share a region classification, but they do share a border. On Monday, I got to ask Morgan County head coach Bill Malone what the game means to his team.
I don't understand why Oconee County thinks they're better than us, but they do. You know, you go up into Oconee County or into Watkinsville and you see one or two nice houses, you know, but other than that, it's just a regular old town. And come to Madison and it's beautiful and we've got a cultural center and we got all this real nice stuff, but for some reason we're the redheaded stepchild to those folks up there.
Some strong words there from Coach Malone.
It's interesting to hear him say that because when I talked to Coach Nolan of Oconee County, he had almost the exact opposite outlook on the so-called rivalry.
It's just the next game on our schedule. I think sometimes as coaches we can make too big of a deal out of those kind of things, and you know, it really doesn't matter to us who we're playing this week. We just approach this game and this week is the same as we do the other 10 games on our schedule. So you know, I can't control or help what they do or how they approach it, but our approach has been the same as it was last week, and it'll be the same next week.
Rivalry or not, it still promises to be an exciting showdown between two high-powered offenses. The Bulldogs will be without starting quarterback Trenton Folds. He dislocated his elbow during week 2 of the season. We expect him to be back against Monroe Area High School on September 27th. So the Bulldogs will be relying on backup Pratt Spivey and their two running backs, Quentin Proby and Co-Bridget Lumpkin.
Lumpkin is a standout player in the backfield. He's rushed for a total of 248 yards and 1 touchdown in just 3 games. Spivey is not completely fresh off the bench either. He got his feet wet when he threw for 104 yards last week against Walnut Grove. Coach Nolan told me that the Warriors' main focus will be and biggest challenge will be stopping the run game.
That's going to be easier said than done. Oconee struggled the last time they played a running back of his caliber. Against Clark Central, they gave up 131 yards on the ground to Brian Barnett. On the other sideline, the Bulldogs will be focused on stopping Warriors quarterback Max Johnson.
The LSU commit recovered from a rough outing against Clark Central to complete 12 of 19 passes for 214 yards and 4 touchdowns against Spalding last week. The Warriors are hoping he can provide more of that tonight.
Johnson's going to test the Morgan County secondary, but I think the defensive coordinator Brett Bell is going to have his guys ready. I'm picking the Bulldogs to win it tonight.
You know, I think it's kind of a hot take considering that Oconee County has claimed the victory the past 5 years, but I'm going to have to agree with you. Johnson has not had his best season, and the Bulldogs look really fully prepped and ready to take the field. You know, I'm going to pick the Bulldogs to win it too.
Should be an exciting one to watch down in Morgan County tonight. High school athletes find different ways to honor others on the field. Our reporter Will Wynn spoke with Athens Christian linebacker Asa Callow about how he honors his late best friend.
The football team for the Athens Christian Eagles play for a community of fans that bleed purple and gold. However, one particular Eagle holds someone very close to him under those Friday night lights, at least on his wrists. Asa Callow is a junior who plays both sides of the ball for Athens Christian. Before he hits the field, he tapes up his wrists and writes the initials of his late best friend, Gabriel Martinez.
These initials, G-E-M on it, stands for Gabriel Edward Martinez. Gabriel was my best friend from childhood who drowned when he was 16 years old.
Asa grew up with Gabriel as childhood best friends, growing closer together by the poolside.
It's just, whenever they ask me what it means, I just said, that's my boy, you know, that's my guy. You know, he passed away. So, and a lot of other guys, they look at my wrist and they write something else. They write maybe their mom, their dad, or their relative that's passed away, or just someone. Because, you know, football means a lot more to me than just playing.
Eagles head coach Chris Williams thinks very highly of Asa and the man he has become. He has seen Asa develop as a leader on and off the field.
I didn't know a ton about that person, you know, but again, to me, he always has a reason and rationale for his heart and his motive is an effort, and I think at that point in time he's always playing for something bigger than himself, and I think that just matched up perfectly.
Asa still keeps in touch with Gabriel's family. He knows what they are going through and wants to be as supportive as he can.
We were very close to his siblings. I mean, like I said, I still see his mom. I still talk to his mom all the time. She's a great lady. She's very strong. She's lost a lot of people in her life and continues to remain strong. And Gabriel is encouragement for me to wake up every morning, go out and play every day, give it my all, because he got that chance taken away from him.
Asa will continue to honor Gabriel for as long as he can, in front of football fans or not. This is Will Wynn with Grady Sportsource.
Will told us that Asa and Gabriel were friends in California. Asa moved to Georgia to be closer to his mom, who's a teacher at Athens Christian. Coming up after the break, Will Wynn joins me and Hayden in the studio to discuss a few of the most pressing questions teams have this week in a segment we're calling 4th and Goal.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to Grady Sportsource. I've got Hayden Chambliss and Will Wynn here with me for our segment, 4th and Goal. During this segment, both Hayden and Will have 30 seconds to argue their side on each topic. Our first topic concerns Prince Avenue Christian School. The Wolverines came into this season looking to get over the hump and finally win the state title, but all that appears to be in jeopardy following the injury to star quarterback Brock Vandegrift. Will, how far of a run do you think this team can make if Vandegrift is out for the season?
I don't want to count them out just yet, Mason, but Vandegrift has been their offensive MVP up to this point. If their defense can create turnovers, get their offense in short yardage situations, I still feel like they can make a playoff run. Defense wins championships, right?
That is right. And this is a very pass-heavy team. Their strength comes from Brock Vandegrift's cannon of an arm. He's thrown for 722 yards the past 3 games, and the receiving corps has picked up 795 yards and 7 touchdowns this season. I think losing him is going to be a big loss for that team, and I don't know if backup quarterback Lucian Anderson III really can fill that void. So I think that I don't even know if they can have a winning season, much less go to the playoffs.
Yeah, that backup quarterback could have big shoes to fill tonight and for the rest of the season.
At North Oconee, the undefeated Titans have an offense that's humming along under new quarterback Bubba Chandler, but their defense has been quietly dominant, allowing just under 12 points per game. Hayden, which side of the ball do you see being more crucial to this team's success as the season progresses?
Well, I think they have a very strong offense, and I think that their defense is going to be what gets them to where they're going. I mean, the Titans' offense, they have no problem scoring points. They've scored over 100 points in their past 3 games. But I always wonder, how close would those scores be if the defense was not there to kind of protect their side of the field? You know, Adam Wynand is a crucial guy in stopping the run game. He is a he is a linebacker who is 6'2", 210 pounds, and they also have 3 linemen who are well over 200 pounds that hold the line and prevent holes.
Yeah, giving up under an average of 2 touchdowns per game is pretty great. When your defense can do that for you, that takes a lot of pressure off the offense for Bubba Chandler and the Titans. Their first 2 games, they blew out their opponents in those first 2 out of 3 games. I expect them to continue to dominate through the rest of the season.
For our final topic, Athens Christian has struggled early on this season after limping to a 3-7 record last year. They appeared to turn things around a little bit last week, though. Do either of you see that foreshadowing some more success as the season progresses?
Against Landmark Christian, the Eagles scored 29 of their 36 total points in the second half. If they want to continue success, they will need to start early and get on top of these other teams that they play early. The remaining rest of their schedule is brutal, though.
Well, I think that they're on a high right now because they won their first game of the season last week, but I don't think they have the size or skill to keep that going. I mean, they're obviously lacking on the defensive side of the ball, as anyone can see, because they're letting other teams put up so many points on them. And, I mean, in October, they have Prince Avenue and Athens Academy, which both have much more established programs than they do.
Exactly, Hayden. You hit the nail on the head. The Eagles' defense give up an average of 33 points the first 3 games. If they want to keep up with that, their offense has to match that and more. And if they can't, they will have a few long Friday nights.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. For a weekly recap of what's happening in all the area high school sports, catch the Athens Banner Herald's Best of Preps podcast. And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Grady Sports to stay up to date on all we're doing at Grady Sportsource. And as always, you can catch us right here every Friday. I'm Mason Cantrell. On behalf of Hayden, Will, and everyone else at Grady Sportsource, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Grady News Source is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I love
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes, the sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flower. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.